Welcome back to another video from Insectix Android Application Penetration Testing course. In this video, we're going to see application sandboxing. So if you remember, in one of our previous videos, we have seen that every single Android application will be running in its own Dalvik virtual machine instance, right? So every application that is downloaded from the internet or Android market, or the application that you have developed, will be running inside its own sandbox, which is Dalvik virtual machine. Now one application cannot access the data associated with other applications. So let's take an instance where I have an application A which is running inside its own Dalvik virtual machine instance, and I have application B which is again running inside its own sandbox environment. Right, now application A cannot access the data associated with application B. Right, so there are some exemptions where application A can access the data of application B if both the applications are developed by the same developer, and if he allows both the applications to communicate with each other, it's possible, but that's an exemption. Right, so this is the scenario where one application can access the data of other applications as well. But in general, one application which is running inside its own instance cannot access the data associated with other applications which are running on the same device. Right, but there are other scenarios where if the application is vulnerable to some kind of attacks, again it's possible. We'll see them in the next couple of modules. Right, so by default one application cannot access the data of other applications. Right, now let's see how it is done in Android. Let me first open up a shell on the device. Make sure your device is running. If you see this, I have sent an SMS to my number 5554. As you can see here, you can do that just by going to your SMS application, and you can see this. Just click this and send an SMS. Right, so before getting a shell, do that. You just send an SMS to your number itself and then get a shell on the device. Now if you see this, if you do the same demonstration on your real device which is not rooted, you should not be able to access this directory cd data. You cannot simply give an ls here because that's not allowed. That is what we have been discussing. Right, since an emulator is by default similar to a rooted one, we are able to access this. If it is a real device which is not rooted, you cannot access this directory's content, which is data, because this is where all the applications data will be residing. If you install an application and if you add any data to your application, it will be located inside this. So the reason why I have asked you to send an SMS to your application is SMS application is an application which is running on your device, and you are just simulating some data. We are just sending some data to this particular application, right? So obviously this application should store its data, which in our case the SMS, inside this particular directory, right? So let me quickly show that. So if you just scroll down, you should have the directory, the apps package name, which is android.com.android.providers.telephony. So let's navigate to that. I have copied it. I'm just pasting it here, and if you now give a quick ls, as you can see, it has an interesting directory called databases. So let's navigate to that. Do a quick ls. As you can see, there is one interesting database called mmsSMS.db. If you can simply access this, if you can simply pull this out onto your local machine, and if you can open it using some SQLite browser, because all the all the databases in your Android devices are stored using something known as SQLite, in the form of SQLite databases. So you can use some sort of SQLite client to read the contents of this mmsSMS.db. Right, so let me quickly show you how to do this. Before doing this, let me open up a new shell tab, and let me copy this cp mms, or else we can directly pull it out onto the terminal, local machines terminal. Let me do that first. Let me get into this ist directory, because this is where all my files associated with this course are located. Now I'm gonna use a command called adb space pull. So basically adb is an application that you know it already. Now pull is a command to pull something from the device, which is your phone, to your local machine. If you want to push something onto your device from the local machine, you actually use something called push, right? So in this case we are going to pull something from this particular device, which is data and this location. So just paste it, and what is the file that we're gonna pull? msms.db. so let's copy this out and paste it here and hit enter. As you can see, we have pulled this. Now if you give a quick ls msms.db, as you can see, it is there now in my local machine. Now obviously I should be able to see the SMS that I have sent, which is hi. So to do that, I'm just gonna open this mms.sms.db file using SQLite3 command. Just have a quick look at tables. As you can see, there is an interesting table called SMS select star from SMS. Now if you observe this, it has the message which I have sent, which is hi, right? So this is basically the data associated with my SMS application. But in general, one application cannot access this data which is resided inside the location. This data cannot be accessible. It is not accessible to other applications. So that is what this application sandboxing is, right? So that's basically how your data is being protected. If your device is rooted, this is how one can access your application's data. But if your device is not rooted, no one can actually access this particular data associated with your applications, right? So this is basically your application sandboxing. So that's all I have in my mind for this video. Thanks for watching it. Thanks a lot.